In this video, I'm going to go over what the concept map for cellular respiration and photosynthesis should look like. There will be some things that I'll leave out that maybe you thought of in your concept map, but in general, I want to make sure you're left with the correct information in your notebook. So the first thing you should do is pause this video and write down all of these three groups and terms in your notebook so you're ready to create the arrows. Okay, now that you're paused, have it written down and are ready to go, let's do some connections. First connection is going to be with this group of organisms up here at the top. All of these organisms use cellular respiration. Okay, the next group, the glucose and oxygen, they are the reactants for cellular respiration. The next group, carbon dioxide, ATP, and water, are the products of cellular respiration. Mitochondria is in here because it's the location, it's the part of the cell where cellular respiration happens. So I'm going to connect that with an arrow that says, again, location. Anaerobic and aerobic are types of respiration. So we're going to do a big arrow all the way up to the top. I'm going to write out types of respiration. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing within the photosynthesis group. In the photosynthesis group, we've got carbon dioxide and water as the reactants. And there's glucose and oxygen as the products. The chloroplast is the location for photosynthesis, so it's the part of the cell where photosynthesis takes place. And the chlorophyll is in the chloroplast. This is actually what makes it green. Okay, now we can start connecting between groups. Now, for these both groups, in the middle, it is connected to both cellular respiration and photosynthesis, so we need to show that. So we're going to say these organisms use photosynthesis and they use cellular respiration. Okay, so they have to do both. Some other good connections, connecting oxygen with aerobic. Oxygen is needed for aerobic respiration. Okay, aerobic respiration means it needs oxygen. Anaerobic does not need it. Some other connections. Glucose is the food for all of the organisms at the top of the respiration group, the humans, the insects, the mushrooms, the bacteria. So I'm going to draw an arrow from glucose over here to this box, and I'm going to write food. Chloroplasts are going to be connected to this both group. They are in all of those organisms, so trees, algae, and moss all have chloroplasts. They also all have mitochondria, so we're going to connect that to that group as well and put in. Sunlight, we haven't connected anything yet. So let's do sunlight to photosynthesis. Sunlight is needed for photosynthesis. All right, so those are some good important connections. The main things I want to point out to you is which organisms use cellular respiration, photosynthesis, or both, what the reactants and products of both are, where both of them take place, and then this special little example down here at the bottom of these different types of respiration and how they're related to the oxygen. So once you have this in your notebook, now you have a pretty good idea of all the parts of the concept map.